how delighted we are to have the three of you here. And what we'd like to do this morning, Dr. Baldwin, is to talk about the spiritual leadership of Dr. Martin Luther King and to have Dr. Anderson and Dr. Howard to bring in as much information as they wish to do so. And what we'll do, we'll give each of you 2 minutes to give us a statement in reference to who you are and et cetera. And that will get us out of that first segment, which will be 6 minutes. And then we'll come back with an 8-minute segment. And after that, we'll come back with a 10-minute segment. But during this first minute segment, Dr. Howard, let's see if we can have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of your experiences. And Dr. Anderson will do the same. And of course, Dr. Baldwin will close us out by giving us a similar kind of information. Let's start from that perspective.
Thank you, Dr. Haynes, for having me. I came to Nashville in 2010 to attend Vanderbilt University to get my PhD in ethics and society. And Dr. Anderson here was my mentor and helped me through that program. So that's how I met him, and I ended up meeting Dr. Baldwin at Vanderbilt as well. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, was born and raised there, so I'm from the West Coast. And there I consider myself a Pentecostal, Black Pentecostal, so I'm also an ordained elder in the Church of God in Christ, where I was ordained by Bishop Blake about 18 years ago. And throughout my life, my interests have been in social justice, civil rights, and in the marriage of civil rights and spirituality. And so that's what kind of put me on the trajectory to go to graduate school to discover the role of Pentecostalism in the pursuit of social justice. So I attended Fuller Theological Seminary in California, came here to Vanderbilt to finish the PhD, and just really completed it in 2017. Dr. Baldwin here served as my dissertation advisor, and Dr. Anderson as my mentor, and helped shape the project and bring it to fruition. And I ended up writing my dissertation on the Black church and Black theology. And so I'm excited to be a part of the show talking about Dr. King and his spiritual leadership. Right now I teach here in Nashville at a high school called Christ Presbyterian Academy, where I teach Bible there. So that's what I'm doing now, having just graduated from Vanderbilt.
Very good. And Dr. Anderson?
Yes, thank you. 26 years in Vanderbilt University Divinity School. I've met Dr. Baldwin 26 years ago as we look at each other. And it was a pleasure to collaborate with him in editing the volume that we're discussing today. I came to Vanderbilt as a graduate from Princeton University in religion, ethics, and politics, having first studied at Calvin Theological Seminary in Grand Rapids, Michigan. While in Grand Rapids, I was pastor of Grace Christian Reformed Church, but also taught at Calvin College. Prior to that, I was in Chicago as a minister for many years, as a minister in music, but also as a social worker. It was in those years as a social worker that I became deeply influenced about issues of social justice, crime, incarceration. Already then, incarceration was a major issue of young people that I was working with as a social worker in Chicago. I am the product of Georgia grandparents who my grandmother especially, was deeply involved in politics in Chicago, and she took me as a little boy. Took me as a little boy to the alderman's office to show me how politics work, how it doesn't work, how to organize communities. So from a very young age, I was tempted by community organizing, tempted by questions of social justice. I did not come to Dr. King easily. I grew up in the age of Black Power, and Black Power was the ideology that drove me. But I quickly turned in my own study to the power of Dr. King, and so I'm a latecomer to the study of Dr. King, but also to understand the power of Dr. King and his ministry for social justice.
And of course, Dr. Baldwin, I think we're just about out of this first segment. And, I think one thing we could say about you during this last minute, and when we come back, we've got 8 minutes, and we'll start with you. But one thing we can say about you is that you've been with us almost since the very, very first day, and that you've delivered us excellent information, but you've also delivered us excellent individuals. And we're delighted to have the 2 individuals that you have with you this morning. And when we come back, gentlemen, what we'll do, we'll start with Dr. Baldwin, and then we'll go to you, Dr. Anderson, and then Dr. Howard. We'll have each of you to speak to some specific things in reference to some of the reasons that you're here. And so what we'll do, we'll take our first commercial break, and we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.
Yeah, and then we'll launch into a discussion of,
That's right.
yeah,
Sorry.
of the book, because we all contributors to the volume. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to be shown right on.
Yeah, yeah, they've got it here. Yeah, I'll introduce us again, and we'll start with you since we left off with Dr. Anderson, and have you to make some statements in reference to your situation, because even though you've been with us thousands of times, but there might be just one individual. Who is that individual there from Vanderbilt University and et cetera. You see, and so yeah, we'll have 8 minutes for this segment.
Move you back a little bit.
Oh, okay.
How's that?
I'm happy. I'm happy if you're happy.
And so, Dr. Baldwin, when we come back, we'll start. You might make some statements in reference to background,
Yeah,
et cetera.
background, then
But-
sort of launch us into the
Into
discussion.
the discussion in reference to this, and then when I realize that we're into discussion time, pick up on what he leaves off. Thank you and welcome back to the second segment of the show for today. We're talking to Drs. Baldwin, Anderson, and Howard, and they're giving us some information in reference to their background, education, and some of their experiences. And I think we were able to get that information from Howard and Anderson, Howard and Anderson, and waiting on Dr. Baldwin to make some statements in reference to that, and then we'll allow you to talk about Dr. Anderson and Dr. Howard, and they'll talk, and we'll use that period to talk about some things in reference to this book.
I'm Louis Baldwin, and I've been here many, many times to talk to Dr. Haney, not only about Dr. King, but a number of other subjects.
Thousands of subjects.
I'm a native of Camden, Alabama. I grew up in Camden, Wilcox County, Alabama, educated in the public schools of Alabama, graduated from high school in '67, matriculated at Talladega College from 1967 to '71. From there to Crozer Theological Seminary, where I received the Master of Arts and the Master of Divinity degrees, and from there to Northwestern University, where in 1980 I received the PhD degree in American Christianity. And since that time, 1980, I've been involved in King scholarship, published a number of books and many articles. And we are here today to talk about scholarship on Dr. King. I've been involved with Dr. Anderson and Dr. Howard in a book on the spiritual leadership of Dr. King. And we want to talk about our different contributions to that book and what that book means in terms of the advancement of King scholarship.
Very good. And of course, Dr. Anderson, let's have you to make some statements within the framework of what Dr. Baldwin has said.
Sure. Dr. Baldwin and I have